Right, for more on this big story, I'm joined by football commentator Novi Kapadia, also joining us football journalist Arunava Chaudhary live from Germany. Novi, I'll start with you. Having seen those visuals, what do you deduct from there?
Well, it does seem very obvious that Elano was in a very relaxed mood. I mean, as a senior pro, he was just going to calm down the FC Goa players. Because one can imagine that FC Goa, this was on the brink of victory. They had to face defeat. So they are very frustrated, deeply hurt. One can imagine the feelings. They are seething with anger and frustration.
But having those kind of feelings is one thing, but to take him to the cops for something that he didn't do, what about that?
Yes, that is extreme, and that is very unfortunate that that has happened. It has tarnished the image of the ISL, it has tarnished the image of Indian football, and above all, Goa as a center of football. That Goa is proclaiming itself. FC Goa says they are the most well-supported club in the ISL. They do have people willing to become members, paying rupees 1 lakh per season. And they say they are very well organized, but you can't treat a player like this. I mean, as we talked, the Zidane-Matarazzi fight, that's the World Cup final. There's nothing bigger than that. It ended over there. Nobody goes to police stations.
Right. Arunava, to you, because these charges were pressed against Elano, now this footage has emerged, which we're playing exclusively right here on NDTV. Now, is it fair to say that he was wrongfully indicted at that time?
Good evening, back home to India. Certainly, I mean, I was there that day in Goa on that night in the final, and to me it seemed like, as I said, the footage proves that what I saw is true. And I remember that the CEO of FC Goa, Sukhvinder Singh, was trying to get Elano out of that situation with his team, and Zico involved in other people, and it was very, very shameful that a player of the stature of Elano was actually sent to a police station. He had to stay there for 3 hours. And then, these charges were slapped upon him.
Right. Arunava, I believe you spoke to him, to Elano. You saw all of this happen there at the stadium. You spoke to him as well. What did he have to say?
He was shocked. I actually went later on to the Margao police station and, to see, because I was actually somewhere else with friends after the final. And someone told me that, Elano is at Margao police station. At first, I thought it was a joke. I didn't take it seriously, but then I got a couple of other calls, and then I thought, okay, why not go over there? And I met a lot of people around, journalist colleagues, but also the higher up hierarchy of the ISL as well as of Chennai FC. And it was very, very disturbing to see Elano sitting on a chair, still in his match shorts and in slippers, and it's very unreal.
Would Novi now, foreign footballers, would they want to come and play in India after what has happened?
No, word spreads around. Footballers' network is very strong. And Elano will certainly tell Brazilian players all over that, it's not the paradise that it does seem. Brazilian players love Goa, the language, the culture, so many things are similar. But you don't treat players like this. I give an example in the recent I-League, where Arnab Mondal, the crucial match, East Bengal versus Mohun Bagan, Arnab Mondal was suspended for 2 matches for allegedly using sort of aggressive, violent language against Cornell Glenn, the Mohun Bagan striker. And where he later told me that all he sort of said, this is India, I can see you, or something to that effect. And if they could clamp down on that, which is also harmless, it's normal. My days, I remember the border security force, they abused every 5 minutes. In Punjabi, not in English. So referees that time didn't have so many powers. But this type of incident, there's absolutely, Elano's innocent, completely innocent. It is the frustration of FC Goa coming out, and it's a case of misuse of power. If AIFF do not impose discipline, some form of fine or disciplinary action, it would really give a very wrong indication.
You talk about misuse of power because we know that the Goa FC owners are the high and mighty, especially in that state, which is why you think the police were forced to take him without any evidence?
Probably, as he didn't go for the prize giving ceremony also. Arunava was there.
The chief minister didn't go.
Chief minister didn't go, and the team also apparently did not. Arunava can give us further facts on that. As far as I remember also, that the team did not go. By watching it on television, team did not go for the prize giving, which is also some form of insult to the final ceremony. So it really, this type of teething problems must be clamped down upon. You cannot let money rule the roost.
Okay, Arunava, to you, since you spoke to Elano after that, you even went to the police station. We know that he absolutely loves playing in the ISL, but did he give any indication, would he like to come back after what happened?
I don't think he would. I mean, something like this has happened to a player of the stature of Elano. We're not just talking about just some footballer, being put into police custody for a few hours. And as has been rightly said, Elano loved India. He's been one of the stars of the first 2 seasons of the ISL. He's one of the reasons that Chennai won the second edition of the ISL. So he's loved. He loves the country. He loves the league. But if there's even a small risk of him ending up in a situation like this, a player of his stature will not come to India. Right. And that's the situation, I guess. And I don't think he would come back.
Okay, Arunava, you heard Novi say that some strong steps need to be taken, some strong sanctions need to be put for FC Goa. Just tell us, you cover international football. Had this happened at any international level, at a club level in any other country outside India, what do you think would have been the sanction and what kind of steps would the association have taken?
Well, the first decision that needs to be taken is can there be sanctions from the AFF as well as from the ISL? So that is, I fear, at the moment, a confusion which is ongoing in India, because FC Goa has gone out to say that if the AFF gives us a fine, a 50 lakh fine, as well as certain members of our team, are suspended and have to pay a fine, then how can the ISL also give us a fine and a sanction and whatever comes on top of it? My opinion is that the ISL, being a parallel body to the I-League in the way of being described as a tournament, the ISL is in the situation that they can actually put a fine onto FC Goa. And I personally feel that it needs to be tough, and it needs to be also made clear to FC Goa that an incident like this cannot happen. And if it ever happens again, I think then the league needs to take drastic step and even consider of throwing a team out of the league.
Okay, strong words there, and aptly so. Novi, you've covered football for so many years. Do you think this is unprecedented? We've seen fights on the football pitch in almost every country, but something like this to be dragged to the police station, spend a night there, a player, is this unprecedented?
No, completely unprecedented. You never take, fights happen, and over here it's more as of the owners, their frustration is coming out more than the players. You generally have fights amongst the players, not the owners behaving like this, and taking a player, especially as I fully endorse what Arunava says, a player of his stature. Elano is a, established international. You have to see the wider picture. The ISL had come in with the idea of raising Indian football to another level. You are not doing that. If, the word goes around that players get dragged to police stations, that even a player of his caliber, it's totally unprecedented. And I agree also with Arunava saying that these two entities, they should over here both combine and decide to take disciplinary action with a strict warning. This cannot be allowed to happen. Football is not WWF wrestling. Okay. It's a very serious sport which has very stringent rules. And the greatest players, if Zidane can be sent off and suspended, nobody else is bigger than Zidane in the last 10 years.
Absolutely. Great suggestions and perspective put forward by Novi Kapadia and Arunava Chaudhary. I'd like to thank both of you. Now, there is an inquiry committee that has been set up. They will hear this matter on Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll keep a close eye. But this footage that has emerged right now, which we're showing you exclusively on NDTV, might just help that inquiry commission to come up with a better decision and actually reach conclusion of what really happened. Because before this, there was no video evidence that came to light. There was only hearsay. This is the video evidence that we're showing you right here on NDTV.